And howdy, everybody. I'm the Orange Peanut with the Duff Pickem AllStars. The guy in the dark right there. Our league's champion is Groady. Guy with the hat up there, that's the Commish. And the mountain man with the beard is Icehouse. We're here to talk about Pick'em, especially when we can remember to do it. Because somebody forgot during the Christmas holidays. Happy holidays, happy every Chrismukkah or whatever. Uh, First of all, I want to start off by congratulating Groady on being our champion. Commish, that was an awesome fight, all the way to the end. Groady, well done on the on the winning of our first place trophy and your first time on the trophy. Well done, man. Awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Icehouse, you got lucky that I forgot there was a third place. Like legitimate.
Not really. I handily would have won anyway, I'm pretty sure.
I don't know about that. But
Yeah,
we're here
John,
to talk.
you needed to make a ton of moves.
I just did. I totally forgot. I left two dead players in on the Eagles. It's the last time I trust the Eagles to do. Yeah, maybe I won't keep Jalen Hurts ever again. But there were some crazy games. This is week 18. Groady, start with you. Was there a game you watched last week which was hilarious or interesting or anything?
Yeah, honestly, I think that, and I'm glad I'm not the only one, but a bunch of people have been putting online, and I agree that I think the Chiefs need to be fined as an organization
Yeah.
for what they did, because 38-0. When I get it, obviously the Bengals are kind of in a sense hoping for a miracle, but really to literally not even play at all. So. One of the guys in my work he actually said, he goes, that's just how scared Mahomes is of Joe Burrow getting into the playoffs, that if they end up having to play them, that they could potentially lose.
Yes.
So
Completely agree. That was an unnecessary blowout when the Bengals actually tried really hard to do what they did. Especially the scary moment when Joe Burrow looked like he had some sort of a neck injury. We were all kind of like, "Oh, please be okay. Don't injure your neck." Commish, what about you? Any games that were hilarious, interesting?
Well, I think it's funny that anybody thought for a second that Mahomes and company were even going to play. Like, why bother risking any injury? I mean, look what happened in the Green Bay Packers Bears game. Like, again, not a game that they necessarily needed to play. And Jordan Love, while he might be fine, hurt his elbow. Christian Watson, done for the season, may not even play next year because of a torn ACL and God knows whatever else he blew up in his knee. So I don't blame them for resting their starters at all. I don't think it has anything to do with them being scared of Cincinnati in the playoffs.
I'm not talking about resting their. I'm not talking about resting their starters. I'm just talking about you're going to tell me you're an organization that even with the backup QB that you put out there, you couldn't even score a single touchdown, and your defense just got ran over by a rookie QB.
Yeah, those defenders aren't out there. Those defenders are out there trying not to get hurt.
Yeah, did any of you guys think? Because I thought at some point that I was watching several preseason games, all happening all at the same time, like throughout the Saturday, Sunday, and what was supposed to be a Monday game. Am I the only one that noticed that there was supposed to be a Monday game of the Lions and Vikings, and then it got pushed to Sunday night?
No, it was never Monday night. There's never a Monday. The Sunday night is always the last game of the year. There's never a Monday night game.
I swear to God, there's a what's that effect? The butterfly effect, the Mandela effect?
No, it's not a Mandela effect. There's never been Monday night games. The last game of the season that was abolished like easily over a decade ago.
Oh, I swear to
I was gonna say there hasn't been a Monday night ender for a while. It's just you're not used to it because normally it happens week 17 and not week 18.
Because there's always some dud matchup between two teams. Like it'd be between the Kansas City Chiefs and the fucking Broncos, and you'd be watching the Chiefs like nobody's there.
I can swear to you, and this is where I was confused because on Sunday night I saw that the Vikings and Lions were playing, and I was like, "Oh, that's a great game." I could swear to you though, and I mean, like, I would bet money that I saw things in my search history. Oh, there's going to be a great game on Monday night. That I swear in Pick'em that I saw a Monday night game. I could swear to you, and I'm not making that up. Like I must just be crazy or something like that. So that's what confused me was that I thought there was supposed to be a Monday game, and I'm like, oh no, the really good game is on Sunday night now. Ooh, um, that was one of the games that I thought was good, but the other one that I just couldn't stop laughing at was the Falcons Saints game. I just couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, why is this a blowout? What is happening here? And
The
meanwhile, they're
Bucks
constantly
played the Saints,
yes, or
and the
I'm
Falcons
sorry,
played the Panthers, and they went to overtime.
yes, that's the
Yeah.
Falcons Panthers one. That's when I was cracking up at because I was like, this
It
game
was
is,
a
is
38
insane.
all tie.
Yeah, it was amazing. Um, we were watching that game while the Bucks score was in the upper left for that. Icehouse, what about you? Any games that made you laugh or made you were interesting to you?
Um, Nothing particularly.
No, nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing special.
Start out.
No, I think the one
Sorry.
special moment for me over the weekend was the Bucks did get the ball back after a fourth down stop, and to give Mike Evans a $3 million bonus and to keep his streak alive, they ran one play to get him over 1,000 yards on the season.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that
that
was
was funny.
awesome.
Yeah, and
11
then
preseasons.
Jerry Jones did the opposite. Cooper Rush needed to play one more game for a 500K bonus. They started Trey Lance.
Oh yeah, and the best part of that was Jerry Jones goes on whatever talk, and he's like, oh, I had no idea about that. It's like, oh okay, yeah, sure, buddy.
You're the owner
Sad.
and the GM. You don't
Oh,
know.
Yeah, I didn't
oh,
know anything about that. Okay,
yeah,
sure. Bet you didn't.
Whatever you say, Jerry.
yeah.
Yeah, like
We
so you're saying why don't you just go give him that bonus instead? Then how's that, huh?
no
Oh, you
kidding.
don't want to do that either. Fun.
Yeah.
Send him a Jelly of the Week award while you're at it, Jerry. Jeez. Um, or what Jelly membership of the week? What is it from Christmas Vacation? Oh, can't remember exactly.
Oh, the club.
Yeah. Um,
Jelly of the Month Club.
Jelly of the Month Club. That's what it is. Um, I know three other moments that were hysterical for me. The Browns game is Bailey Zappi taking the field and immediately throwing an interception. Like, oh, aha, okay. Um, Another one was the entirety of the Patriots Buffalo game, where it's like, it's a C squad versus a D squad. Like it was all playoff, or preseason. It was a week 3 preseason game during week 18. And then there was one more game that cracked me up. And I maybe making that up. I already talked about the Carolina game. Oh, the Houston Tennessee game. The only reason I cracked up at the Houston Tennessee game is because they interrupted the game on accident to showcase a touchdown that was run in the Houston Tennessee game.
Yeah.
So that
Yeah, I saw that. That's funny as hell.
Nice.
I was like, oops.
All right.
And now for a game break.
Yeah.
Just moments ago,
That's
in
awesome.
the
Yeah.
game you're watching.
Yeah.
Well, that's the one funny thing too, because a lot of people are wondering why the Patriots fired Gerard Mayo, and it was because he pulled the Lovey. They had the number 1 overall pick, and then he won a meaningless game.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Nah, that's stupid. That's dumb to me. It's
Is
the
it
same thing
though?
with the
Is
Bears
it?
and everybody else. Like, how can you go out and tell the guys, "Oh, by the way, while you may not make this team next year, right? We might let you go. Your contract might be up. So what do you need to do to prove yourself to be on the team? Play well. but also we need a good draft pick. So why don't you go out and fucking lose so that, we can fire your ass? Like, no, that's the dumbest shit on earth.
So would the coach have just been fired no matter, regardless of the win or lose?
He was doomed. Like,
Okay.
Bill Belichick's last season was trash. He comes in, like, there's no fucking hope for a positive season. And the first round pick, getting number 1 overall isn't going to do you shit anyways.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an
Yeah, but
interesting
Like,
with
take I
your
hadn't
that one
considered.
player isn't going to save your fucking team.
no, but
Yeah.
that's the thing though is if you're the GM of the Patriots and you had the first overall pick, knowing that there's teams that want Cam Ward or Shador Sanders, you could trade back
Nobody
and get
wants Sanders.
you could trade back and get more picks to help revitalize your team around Drake May because they have their QB.
That's true, and I think he is a QB. He is really a QB for the Patriots. That guy is worth keeping. Our thoughts. Another thing I saw: Caleb Williams threw for 3,600 yards this year, and I was like, that's amazing, considering how many games I can recall of how low the points score it seemed the Bears were scoring. This comes from our honeypot game that we play, where it's just like legitimately they're going to score between like 3 and 10 points, and they're getting within that range a decent number of times. So, fellas, do we think he's worth keeping? I think so.
He'd have 4,000 yards if it
Say,
wasn't for all the
it's
sacks.
it's
Agreed.
1 year in the books, and we're worried about whether or not we keep him. Like,
Oh, there's so many
Yeah.
fans that
also
are
with
out
all
there.
We're trying to get rid of him already.
the dysfunction
No,
that happened this year, my God.
Oh
yeah,
man.
I'm thinking more like keep him along the lines of like I want I do want the Bears to build around him. I am behind him. I was behind him from the start. I'm behind any Bears quarterback. Well, most Bears. I'm behind. Yeah, I'm behind. I've been behind every Bears quarterback. There's speaking from the Browns side. There's been two choices the Browns have made where I did not get behind either Johnny Manziel or Deshaun Watson. Those are two cases where the organization fucked up. Um, but the Bears, I've gotten behind, but it gets to a point where it's like, oh God, our season is not looking good. Do we want? It's you always look at the quarterback as the leader, and it's like, well, I actually like him. I want him to stay. I think he's buildable. Let's build around him. Let's just hope we draft 7 offensive linemen next year.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
Well,
that
I
and you
think
got
that
to get
was
the head coach right.
I think that was
yes,
the one thing that kind of stood out to me this season was I don't know what we need on defense, but I can for sure shit say on offense, like depending on what happens with Keenan Allen, right? Roma Dunze's there, DJ Moore is there, Komet's there, right? Swift will be there, right? Caleb Williams will be there. In the draft or through free agency, you need offensive linemen and you need a complementary running back to DeAndre Swift. Like, that's it
yes,
for offense. Like, you don't need another quarterback. You don't need any wide receivers. Like, you don't need any of those. You can go ahead and focus your efforts on this other area. And then defensively, I don't know what they need. Because last year to this year, the run stopping is night and day. And the only difference to me was you don't have Eddie Jackson anymore. And while he couldn't tackle to save his life, he certainly knew how to sniff out the run and stop it because the safety, as far as my understanding of football, your free safety is the guy that is the run stopper. Like, that's the guy that calls out, figures out the run, and gets it stopped. Because when Mike Brown was the safety for the Bears, he was the guy that did that.
yeah,
Yeah, but Jaquan Briskers did a good job of that too. He's just been out with a concussion, and then they lost Andrew Billingsley. So you probably, knowing that he went down, and that's what really kind of also hurt the run because he was a good, plug up the gap kind of guy. So you probably needed interior linemen, but you definitely need linemen on the offense first before you worry about the defense because I'd rather them be able to get linemen and score, 35 points and then eventually, you can get a defensive lineman the next year that'll make it so the other team only scores 30.
absolutely. Um, I think though if Keenan Allen goes, somewhere. Which he might. Like, I don't know what the Bears will do with him. Let's get another vet. Get somebody who's got some experience on the field, someone similar to replace him with, who is not Odell Beckham, and I think that will work.
I'd hope that they would keep Keenan Allen, because it seemed like there were several games where he was pretty well solid with on the same page as Caleb Williams.
Agreed. Completely agreed. And on top of that, a nice guy. I love the pictures of him and his family with all the Bears stuff with it. I love that he buys other people tickets to go see him at the game. Like, I like him as a team player as well. But he is what is his contract only until the end of this year?
Yeah, it was a 1-year deal. I think depending on who you bring
they
in,
traded for him, so they inherited whatever contract he had with the Los Angeles Chargers.
yeah, which it was 1 year left. But I think with that, it all depends on who you bring in as your head coach, because like if let's say they do, my hope is that they go for Ben Johnson. You bring in a guy like Ben Johnson, you ask him, do you need a guy like Keenan Allen, or is DJ Moore and Odunze and Komet enough for you to run the offense you want to run?
Some exciting stuff from last week. Week 18 is always a little bit zany in terms of how it's done. And we made picks. I made picks last week. I missed a couple of other weeks in there, like literally. Commish, could you tell us a little bit about what happened last week at all with our picks?
No.
Uh-huh.
That's too bad.
Let's see. Group picks last week, final week of the season. Probably should have revisited several of these before I finalized my picks, but what are you going to do? Let's see. Groady. Well, it's not so much the holidays; it's the playoff implications versus not, and all that other stuff. Like, how does that fare? Right? Like, which teams have something to play for, which teams don't? Right? Like, Groady led the week with 115 points, followed by you with 96, Boss with 95, me with 78, Eric with 62, Tommy with 56, and Stan brought up the rear with 45 points. I had Miami picked. I don't know. I'm sorry, New York picked. Or no, I had Miami picked. I realized it was a cold weather game, and I should have picked the Jets, and I didn't change it. Who else did I screw up on? Oh, Kansas City. I heard that no one was going to be starting, and I stuck with them anyway. I should have just gone with Denver. Buffalo, same thing. Like, meaningless game for them. They were the number 2 spot. Like, those are 3 games that I'd have what is that? 30 more points. So
and the lead.
No, I'd be at 108. I'd be
second place.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a bummer, but as far as Stan's picks go, he stopped us on numerous games this week on having perfect weeks, or perfect for the games for everyone. Like, we all had Cincinnati, but Stan. We all had Philly, but Stan. We all had the Chargers, but Stan. We all had Detroit, but Stan. And then Stan actually helped us out, as we all had the Rams, except for Tommy. He had Seattle. Where else was there?
Too. Jeez.
Let's see. Tennessee, JV and Tommy both screwed that up. I'll admit I screwed up on Chicago, but hey, I honestly didn't think they had a hope in hell. Neither did Eric. Boss was the only one that got New England right. JV, you were the only one that got Denver right.
Yeah.
We all got Washington wrong, and we all got Tampa Bay wrong.
Yes. The Tampa Bay, that was a surprise that there wasn't a little bit more happening with that. Washington, I kind of didn't know what to expect out of that game there.
No, I didn't either.
Yeah,
but
it's like the Bears Packers. I know there's no playoff effect on that game, but it's still a big rivalry. So you kind of I guess maybe expect there to be a show of some sort with that. So maybe the same thing there. But let's raise a glass up to Groady for winning on the week. Congratulations, Groady. Way to go. We didn't have anything selected, mainly because I forgot. And so we're going to let Groady pick a game he may want to say a few things with on here. Groady, for the picks of this week, which game do you want to talk
I'll just go with the first one, which would be the Chargers and Texans.
Chargers, Texans. What do you know?
Not much, unfortunately. Obviously, Texans winning their division, Chargers getting in the in as a what seed is there? What are they? Are they the fifth seed? No, fourth seed. No, fifth seed. Fifth seed. They're the fifth seed because Texans are the fourth seed. So, yeah, I think the one thing that's probably been the glaring stat that a lot of people have been posting out on Facebook and Twitter is that earlier on in the year when the Texans played the Bears, C.J. Stroud tried to big brother Caleb Williams by telling him, "Oh, it gets better." And he actually statistically had a worse season than Caleb Williams over these last few weeks. He hasn't been playing well. So right now, just because of the fact that when Harbaugh's there, he seems to create a winning culture. I've got, let's see, 14 points. I'm throwing them on the Chargers. I think the playoff experience of Harbaugh outshines the inexperience of D'Amico Ryans on the other side. So,
Yeah, I would agree with you on that. I like Houston as a team. I don't understand why they seem like they should be better in particular areas where they are not. The Chargers do have to travel to the Houston Dome, so it will be loud in that stadium. Houston fans make games very, very hard to play in. Also, it appears to be a majority, 77% of everyone thinks that the Chargers are going somewhere. Yeah, I will go with the Chargers as well for 10 points. Icehouse.
I like the Chargers too for 8 points.
For 8 points, so 14, 10, and 8 on the Chargers. Commish, chance to be a contrarian.
No, I got 12 points on the Chargers.
12 points on the Chargers. We'll leave it up to Skinnnns to pick Houston. Probably what he'll do.
Well, he did so great with his picks last week.
Yeah. All right, here I'll go next right here. Gosh, I would pick the Denver Buffalo game. I am wearing Denver stuff, but Buffalo is not my team. So I'll go to the AFC North and oh boy. Oh boy. Baltimore is hosting Pittsburgh in the Battle, Pennsylvania. A close division. I mean close like proximity wise. These teams are all relatively close to each other, but on top of that, these two teams just kind of hate each other. I say Baltimore's in Pennsylvania; it's close enough with it. So Baltimore is favored by 10 points as of right now. 64% of people are taking Baltimore with a 10-point. Wow, with 10 points above there. I grant it. It is. I do think Baltimore is the better team. Derrick Henry just looks amazing. Lamar Jackson looks amazing. But Baltimore just lost one of their wide receivers in the last game. And I haven't heard if he's coming back or not, but either way, he's coming back for a shorter game after injury for Zay Flowers. So Zay Flowers was injured in the last game against the Browns, and I haven't heard if he's actually coming back or not. I think Baltimore's defense might be. Oh, wait, there's another factor. NFL weather. I believe snow is coming for this game. Last I checked. Yep, snow. Small chance of snow, cold and windy. No
Small
way.
chances go like 5 days from now.
Well, it's a
Give me a break.
you can't trust the North the way that goes there. There's no way I'm going to go for Baltimore with a 10-point spread with this. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to lose by that much against their division rival that they know so well and have already played. Have they actually? Here's maybe another question that I don't know here. Have they played each other already? Steelers schedule.
Yeah, they
Looking to
play each other twice a year.
Well, I
This
mean,
will be
like,
game number 3.
that's not what I meant. I meant, what were their scores after they played each other?
Baltimore beat them 34-17 when they met on Christmas. Or no, not
18
Christmas. The week before Christmas.
on November 17th.
And
Steelers won 18-16.
18-16. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a chance. I'm going Steelers, and I'm going to put 8 points on the Steelers for this one. What do you think here, Icehouse?
I have 6 on the Steelers. I think they'll keep it close. 10 is a lot of points.
10's a lot of points given the situation for this year. Commish.
Yeah, I got 6 points on the Steelers. I think they'll keep it close.
6 points on Steelers, and back up to Groady.
Yeah, Baltimore had more healthy weapons. Their wide receivers have been decimated. I'd probably pick them, but I got 6 points on Steelers.
Points on Steelers. They did. Granted, it's the Browns. Their defense is not the greatest. They showed a great showing of what a quarterback can do when they throw to their tight ends. Likely and Andrews were just catching balls left and right. Meanwhile, we get to watch Bailey Zappi throw an interception to end the Brown season to a 355-pound man. That was also entertaining. Plays. Okay. Icehouse. What game would you like to talk about?
I haven't really looked into any of these games, but I was looking up something earlier about Philadelphia. So I was checking to see if Hurts was going to play, and it looks like he is, because they waived my poor guy from Notre Dame, Ian Book.
Damn.
So,
I like
given
Ian
that they're
Book.
letting him go, that means Hurts is very, very likely to play. So therefore, I will take 14 on Philly.
14 on Philly. Holy cow. Commish, what do you think about that?
I think Jordan Love is also going to play, but that doesn't really matter as much as Hurts.
Agree. Commish, what do you think?
Let's see. I've got 10 on Green Bay. I think they'll lose by a field goal.
Like how?
Although I guess, you know what?
Picking
Christian Watson's gone. Oh, I'm going Philly. 10 on Philly.
10 on Philly? All right.
Yeah.
So 14 and 10 on Philly. Groady.
Yeah, I got 10 on Philly. One of the big storylines, obviously, this year has been both the running back acquisitions for both these teams. Josh Jacobs for the Packers and Saquon Barkley. I think Saquon Barkley obviously definitely had a far better year, and I think that continues into the playoffs. One of the things I laughed about was, I guess, up in Green Bay, as crappy as our season has been, Green Bay is not so happy with the fans aren't so happy with Matt LaFleur. A lot of them calling him Mike McCarthy 2.0, makes it to the playoffs, but then goes nowhere. And so there's talks out there that fans want him fired. And then on the Chicago radio side, they're like, "Oh, if you fire him, bring him here. We'll take him. We'll take him." After they said that, when I watched the game this weekend, and I've noticed it a few times, but I really noticed it in this game because things weren't really going his way. That fucking man is a whiny little baby. Like, he was like stomping his feet on the sidelines, going, like trying not to cry. Why they fled? And I'm like, I don't want Matt LaFleur. He looks like a whiny little bitch. Like, Jesus. Like, man, you're a head coach of an NFL football team. Why do you look like you're about to cry because a flag got thrown against your team? Like, calm down.
Yes.
It's okay. So yeah, I got 10 on Philly. I hope Green Bay continues their early exits in the playoffs. I love it.
I like that. I will say this for the the ladies that watch football out in the Cleveland area often talk about the prettier coaches that are out there. Everyone seems to be a fan of the Browns coach, Stefanski, as a GQ looking gentleman. But I would easily say in the top three uh, is what's it? His name is Fleur.
Yeah,
LaFleur.
Matt.
LaFleur
Yes,
is
Matt LaFleur.
Matt LaFleur is up in the top three. Maybe top five or top three. I know McVay has made his moments a couple of times as well as somebody that's there. Trying to remember if there's anyone else. I know it's LaFleur is the one that they talk about a lot. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna pick. I think with Christian Watson being injured and Jordan Love recovering from something, uh, I think Philly is if Hurts is playing. Although if Ian Book plays, I think that wouldn't really change my score. I'm gonna put 12 on Philadelphia for that. Commish, was there a game you wanted to talk about? Maybe the Buffalo game.
Yeah, I guess. I didn't do any research or
Oh,
homework on any of this. But Buffalo 13-4 on the season, Denver 10-7. Buffalo 8-0 at home, so I'm sure they'd love to keep that win streak going. Denver 4-5 on the road this season. It's a 9-point spread, and while I'm inclined to believe that Buffalo will in fact win this game because Bo Nix is a rookie, and even though Sean Payton is the head coach of the Broncos, I just don't see them. I just don't see them winning against Buffalo. But I can't believe they're going to win by more than 9. So I've got 8 points on Denver.
8 points on Denver for that. Groady.
Yeah, I kind of was leaning that way, but I don't know. I think with Buffalo, I think they got a lot to prove. I think obviously finally getting over the hump in a sense of beating Patrick Mahomes this year. I think Josh Allen's just going to continue his MVP season, which I think he should definitely win it. Because when you look at their team, it's Josh Allen and who, unfortunately he doesn't have a lot of people around him. A lot of guys have been, especially like his tight ends who are really good, have been injured most of the year. Cook hasn't really been that great as a running back, and then obviously they've been a lot better offensively since getting Amari Cooper. But yeah, I got 8 points. I think Buffalo can do it. I think they want to show the rookie what it takes to be in the playoffs.
8 points on Buffalo. I disagree with one thing that you said. I agree with everything. I think Cook has been a shining beacon of hope for this team. I happen to like his running style, which is skews me and pushes way into the end zone. He's got some dynamicism that I think he is a good running back. And did he is it did he have a 4 touchdown game once this year? I'd like to say that he did. Maybe at least a 3, if not a 4 touchdown game. You're right, though. They've been decimated at the tight end. Josh Allen looks awesome. The Buffalo's defense, when it's standing stalwart, just won't let anything through it. It is being played in Buffalo, so I do have a question. And snow is going to be there. Hell yeah. Love a snowy game in Buffalo. I love the fans in snowy game in Buffalo. But in honor of the Mr. Land Legacy Award, also known as the Horse's Ass Trophy that I have won this year, I am now a Broncos fan. Max points on the Denver Broncos. Heaven help me. Icehouse.
um, I'm sure Buffalo will probably win, but 9 seems like a lot. So I'm taking 12 points on Denver. I think
12
they'll keep it
points.
close.
12 points, Denver for that. Here's our glasses again to last week's victor, Groady. Way to go, Groady. You got 2 games left. Which one do you want to talk about?
I'll take the Minnesota Rams game. 'Cause they were actually talking about this on the radio today, and it was a stat that earlier in the year Joe had brought up because with the way that the Lions beat the Vikings, they were talking about on the radio. They're like, oh, well, maybe the Lions have showed the Rams how to, you know, beat Sam Darnold, which is to pressure him because, like, I guess it's like 51% of their defensive, against the Vikings, the Lions were blitzing, and like immediately one of the guys pointed out, like Joe pointed out in the year, he actually does better against the blitz. He just was having an off game. Um, but the one thing for the Rams is the Rams aren't that much of a blitzing team. They usually get home with 4. So knowing that, I'm taking the Rams in this game. I've got max points on this game. I've liked the Vikings in the sense of the fact that obviously they 14-2. I just unfortunately, as much as I was thinking that Sam Darnold was the guy, I think Sam Darnold is still showing you the reason why he hasn't really been a perennial starter in this league. And I think that comes out some more in this game against the Rams. And not only that, but the Rams just offensively have just been playing so well with, Puka Nacua back, and obviously Cooper Kupp. So I think the Rams do what they did earlier on in the year. They beat the Vikings.
So you got max points on the Rams.
Yes, sir.
The max points on the Rams. It's funny. I have like kind of so we're all Bears fans, and we have our secondary teams that we kind of like as well. It's like so Joe, big fan. It's like side fan, closet fan of Buffalo. Icehouse, closet fan of the Chiefs. Groady, I often think of you as a closet fan of the Rams. And would it be wrong for me to say that you are a fan of Matt Stafford?
Oh, I love Matt Stafford. Even when he played for the Lions, the fact that obviously it sucked for him that he had to leave to go get his Super Bowl, but yeah, he's that. If he could have been the Bears quarterback, that would have been amazing. He's a tough dude. One of the best games that he ever played was that game against Baker when he was in the Browns, and both him and Baker fucking were hurt at the end of the game, and like even with a hurt shoulder, Stafford went out there and threw that game-winning touchdown. So, but yeah, I like Matthew Stafford. He's a great quarterback, and it'd be cool to continue to watch him play.
That moment, he's mic'd up in that game as well, and you could just hear him like he's crying in pain at one point. It's just like, no, put me back out there, damn it! Like I need to do this. That being said, I do like Sean McVay. I think Puka Nacua reminds me in every way of Maui from Moana, the Moana series. The man's just an animal. He's awesome. I think he's totally fun to watch. But I'm going to go with a heart decision here, and I really want the Vikings to win this game. So I will go the opposite way. I'm going to go 14 points on Minnesota for this one here. Icehouse.
Now it's a tough one because I was going to go max points in Minnesota, but I don't know. Maybe Grody's right. No, I'm just going to go with my gut. Stick with what I had before. Max points on Minnesota.
Max points on the Vikings. You got Commish.
Yeah, there's nothing in me that wants to see the Vikings succeed because I'm a Bears fan. Oddly enough, I'd be fine with Detroit winning. I don't know why. So I have max points on the Rams.
All right. So there's a split. So most of our games we've made the same decision here. One pick on Buffalo, but okay, we got a good split, and there's a large amount of points here, so there will be some possible contention towards the end. Cool. There's one last game. I'll start this one right here. Since I'm next on the list, that's Tampa Bay and Washington. The Skinnnns, wherever you are, we miss you. We know you're putting max points on your Commanders for this, so at least I feel like you're putting max points on your Commanders in your heart. I like this game. I like Baker Mayfield. I like the way Mike Evans won that last game. I thought that's a great stat. That's like a great moment just to be able to say I have 11 seasons where I've done this. I think that's awesome. I like the Commanders. I think they're a fun team to be able to watch. That being said, between my two likes, I like Baker Mayfield more. Even though 55% of everyone is going on Washington, I will be going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My only one is a 6. I have confidence in you, Baker. So I have 6 on the the Buccaneers. We go to Icehouse.
I have. I got 10 on Washington. I don't know. I mean, yeah, what the hell? I'll stick with Washington.
All right.
10 points.
And on Washington Commish.
I got 14 points with at home with Baker.
Yeah. My
I think the
man.
playoff experience that he had, where they almost beat Detroit last year, will come in handy. And Jaden Daniels is a rookie, and while he might brush it off and say it's no big deal, like you're a human being and you probably have nerves like everybody does. So,
Great.
and rookies don't do well in the playoffs. That's pretty standard.
Standard. Yeah. Yeah. Groady, what do you say?
I got 12 on TB12's former team.
Whoa,
I
on
think-
TB.
Hey.
I think there's a lot more playoff experience on Tampa Bay. Unfortunately for the Commanders, their only playoff experience, I believe, is their head coach Dan Campbell. So I can Campbell, Dan Quinn. So yeah, I got I got to take the more veteran, experienced team in a situation like this, and then especially like Joe said, rookie QBs don't do so well in the playoffs. So
I like it there. I do like it. All right. That'll do it for all the points. I got to make sure I hit save. Forgot to do that the last time there. Around the horns, winner of the week is Groady with 19 points, Commish with 18 points, and Icehouse at -2. Skinnnns is a Q. Tommy, I don't know if you've been watching this. Tommy, every week you're not here. I do record something down in your column. Right now, this one is "You filthy animal." They don't account. They don't add up to anything like that there. But Sippy, you should join us again one of these days. And Eric, join us at some point. When was the last time you were on the show, Scriptum? So, do we even have any new subscribers? Who knows here? But we'll have to figure that out somewhere on the side, folks. We will see you during week 20's decisions there. Keep those pick'ems frosty. We'll see you later. Bye bye. And oops.